welcome to India Today. I'm Anjali Istawal. Let's begin this bulletin with breaking news coming in. This is related to the aviation crisis that has been ignited by the cancellations of Indigo flights, and it seems today also 500 Indigo flights have been cancelled today. So the crisis has not normalized as yet. The operations have not normalized. Well, Indigo is claiming that they aim to fly 1,802 flights today. Remember, yesterday 1,650, that is 1,650 flights were operational yesterday, and today the aim is to ensure that 1,802 flights go on air. That is what the mission is. Now, Indigo is claiming that they have refunded 827 crore rupees of the passengers so far. This is after the passengers cancelled their bookings. Their refunds have been processed. This is what their claim is. And it is believed almost more than 9 lakh cancellations had happened due to this crisis, and the refunds were made. But the bags that were to be returned, out of almost 9,000 bags, only half have been delivered as yet, and 4,500 bags are yet to be delivered to their rightful owners till now. So Indigo is continuously trying to normalize the situation. They are saying that they will hopefully return to normal operations very soon, and but as far as return of the bags is concerned, they're saying 36 hours is the deadline they have set for themselves by when they will return all the bags. That is, all 9,000 bags will be returned. Now, remember, this crisis generated after the new rostering rules and new rules for the pilot relaxation came into account. Now, joining us right now is India Today's Amit Bharadwaj. Amit, do tell us what is the claim that Indigo is making, because, you know, they are putting out these timely updates constantly trying to say, okay, we are operating this many flights today, but this 1,802 flights is an aim right now. We know that this is not what has operated till now.
All right, Anjali. The numbers have been shared by the Ministry of Civil Aviation as well on basis of their inquiry with the Indigo. So it seems like they are planning to operate or they are hoping to operate over 1,800 flights today, which is an increment from yesterday. So the cancellation should be around 500. That's what we are calculating at this point in time. As far as Indigo planned cancellations are concerned. However, the baggage return seems to be a massive task for the Indigo at this point in time at different airports across India. The baggages are kept at airports, and the ministry in its very stern order had asked Indigo to ensure the baggages are sent back to the passengers without any delay. And out of 9,000 baggages so far, 4,500 baggages have been returned by the Indigo. That's what have been informed to the ministry as well. What seems to be a challenge for Indigo is to calibrate its entire operation and to ensure that the bigger airports across India, the operations there becomes uninterrupted, and there are no cancellations, at least at these major airports, and Indigo seems to be moving in that direction. Back to you.
Right. Thank you, Amit. But do stay on with us, because we will be coming back to you, because we have more news coming in related to this crisis. Now, Indigo Airlines is claiming that they have been holding crisis meetings, and they have been meeting regularly as far as their crisis meetings are concerned. They said that the board meets every day since the crisis erupted. Indigo is claiming that there was a crisis management group that was set up out of this board meeting only, and they are hoping that very soon they will be able to get 100% operational integrity. This is what Indigo's claim is, and they're saying that they're trying to get all the information out to the flyers as well and get full refunds into the hands of the flyers, whoever cancels, and also make any changes in the flights if required. Going back to Amit for this, Amit, there have been many questions that have been raised by the media on what was the board doing, why there are very senior personnel on the board, people who have full knowledge, people who have great reputation. So what was the board doing? That is the question that was being asked again and again. What is that Indigo saying about their crisis management?
Well, the Indigo had formed a CMG, a group of senior officials within the organization in order to cater to the problem or address the crisis at hand. That's what Indigo had claimed. In fact, they said that the board had met on 3rd of December itself to tackle the crisis at hand. And after that, we witnessed havoc breaking on the airports of India, where civil aviation industry of India was literally at standstill with its major domestic operator not being able to fly over 1,000 flights on December 5th, and that was attributed to a rebooting that Indigo is claiming and recalibration method that Indigo is claiming. But as of now, the focus seems to be obviously on refund, because the deadline was set by the Ministry of Civil Aviation that all refund should be done by December 7th itself. Anjali.
Right. Thank you, Amit, for all those details, and thank you for bringing all those updates which the passengers require right now. And now let's talk about the discussions that are happening in the parliament, and we have some breaking news coming in. This is related to the discussion in the parliament about Vande Mataram, and it seems Congress MP Imran Masood has said that he's not going to chant Vande Mataram. He says that he cannot do sajda in front of anyone else except for Allah. So that basically means that he will not bow down and worship anyone else or anything else other than Allah. So he says clearly that Vande is not for him. Let's listen to what he said.
प्रधानमंत्री जी को ये भी बताना चाहिए कि आरएसएस ने 25 साल क्यों नहीं गाया इसको। आरएसएस ने अपनी स्थापना से लेकर के और आज़ादी के बाद तक इसको क्यों नहीं गाया, ये भी बताना चाहिए। भाई आप पढ़ो वंदे मातरम, मुझे कोई एतराज़ नहीं है। वंदे मातरम के जो शब्दावली है उसके ऊपर हमारा मजहबी वो है। मैं आपसे नहीं कह सकता कि आप नमाज पढ़ो, मैं आपको कह दूंगा कि नमाज पढ़ो, आप नहीं कह सकता। तो ऐसे ही वंदे मातरम की शब्दावली से आप पढ़िए ना, आप करिए। आप हमारे यहाँ सजदा सिर्फ अल्लाह को है, सजदा सिर्फ अल्लाह को है, और सजदा इसी जमीन पर होता है। बिला वजह के तमाशा क्यों है भाई?
And joining us live is India Today's Maushmi Singh. Maushmi, how is this row escalating? And do tell us, what objections does the Congress MP have?
So clearly he's saying that, within the tenets of Islam, this is not sacrosanct that they should say Vande Mataram. And in fact, Imran Masood went a step ahead, slamming the Modi government, saying that they are not connecting the dots as far as history of the parent organization is concerned, and how much they were actually involved in ensuring the glory of Vande Mataram before India in the Congress party, and and the freedom people to.
Right, Maushmi, thank you very much. We're losing your connection as well, but it clearly seems that this discussion is now leading to a debate as well. Now, let's go across to Sakshi Batra of Business Today with all the updates of the market. Sakshi, over to you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Market Closing Show. This is our collab show between Business Today and India Today Television, a 3 p.m. show where we get you all the market closing action. But first up, let's take a look at what's hot in the corporate and the financial world right now. Indigo crisis continues with 450 plus flights cancellations. Passengers still stranded. Shares slump 18% in 7 days. Market cap below 2 lakh crore rupees. Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu says it is the best time to start an airline. India can host 5 big carriers. Indigo must manage crew rosters. Strict action for non-compliance. Markets trade lower with Sensex now down over 600 points in trade. The Nifty slips below 26,000 mark. BSE mid-cap and small caps also weigh on the market sentiments, while the realty as well as PSU banks are lead sectoral losers right ahead of the week's US federal rate decision. SEBI Chief Tuhin Kanta Pandey says a consultation paper on possible F&O market restrictions will be released at the right time. At the CARE Parva launch, he stresses stricter checks on influencers, clarity on rules and stronger investor protection. Home furnishings company Wakefit IPO opens today. The 1,289 crore rupees IPO of Bengaluru-based home furnishings company Wakefit Innovations opens with the price band of 185 to 195 rupees per share. Home furnishings company has raised 580 crore rupees from anchor investors. Reports say the ICC faces a setback ahead of the 2026 T20 World Cup as JioStar has signalled its intent to exit the media rights deal. According to the reports, ICC has reopened bidding for India rights, but major players like Sony, Netflix and Amazon have shown little interest due to high pricing. Let's start off with the breaking news coming in right now, viewers. Elon Musk Starlink India prices have been announced. Starlink has been priced now at 8,600 rupees per month in India, 8,600 rupees per month for residential plan. One-time hardware cost will be of 34,000 rupees. Offers also unlimited data, 99.9% uptime and a 30-day trial. So that's what the Starlink prices have been released. Remember, there has been a lot of discussion about how the Starlink prices will be in comparison to already the internet services that exist. Already Starlink is seen as one of the most expensive internet-based services in the countries that it is already present in, including US. But right now, if you look at Elon Musk, who's now launched the India prices for Starlink, starting at 8,600 rupees per month in India. This is for the residential plan, and the one-time hardware cost that you will need to incur of 34,000 rupees, although the plan will offer unlimited data and 99.9% uptime and a 30-day trial as well for all of you to look at too. So that's one interesting news that all of you can keep in your eyes. When we can watch out for also how the markets are trading at this point in time. We have now slipped to the day's low point, although just slightly up from the day's lowest point, 25,976. We've slipped below that 26,000 mark. Remember, we were celebrating record high levels in the previous week, but this new week that has started off is rather on a subdued note. We just have about 4 to 5 gainers on the Nifty. Rest of the stocks, they're all red. You can also look at the sectoral movers. All the sectors are also trading weak in trade, and India VIX is the only index that's trading with green right now, about a 7.5% higher at 11 odd levels as we can see right now. Let's actually welcome our guest on board. Mr. G. Chokkalingam is now joining in to share with us his views on the markets. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Chokkalingam. Thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. First up, a quick view on the markets, and what do you make of this sharp 200-point fall on the Nifty that we've seen? This comes in right after the last week when we celebrated newer highs on the markets. Yet again, we've seen the momentum slip into the red.
Mainly liquidity. That is a major concern. Promoters have sold 1% stake, across the board in the last 18 months. IPOs have taken out 1.6 lakh crore rupees from the market, and FIs have been continuously selling. And also, this is a December month, and fag end of December month, a lot of FIs go on holidays. Some FIs tend to book profit and aspire for higher bonus. So all these liquidity issue got aggravated, and that's the only primary reason for this correction. Although Sensex and Nifty have fallen, less than 1%, small and mid caps have fallen much more. And unfortunately, this pain would continue till end of this month, perhaps even beyond December, if the IPO boom doesn't end here.
Okay, let's also welcome Shell Bhatnagar, editor for markets at Business Today Television, also joining in. Shell, it's rather panned out to be a weak set of trade for the session today. Across the board, broad-based sell-off that we've witnessed, including the mid and the small caps that have fallen quite sharply. Where do you think is the pain point right now in the markets? What are you watching out for in this trade?
Sakshi, I think the pain is unbelievably sharp in the mid cap and the small cap space. We've seen the Nifty rebound from 25,900, 890. So that's a fairly okay kind of an assessment. It's fine to, sort of test the lower levels before you snap up again above 26,200, 300. Remember, tomorrow is also the weekly expiry of the Nifty, but unbearable amount of pain and heavy selling that you see in stocks like KNS Technologies. Look at the chart, 50% lower in 2 months. The price that you see on KNS is a reflection of what pain mid caps and small caps are undergoing. Today down 12.7%. And over the last 2 months or so, down 50%. So actually, the portfolio bleed is immense. The kind of pain that is being seen in mid caps and small caps defies description. And it's not getting reflected in the Nifty at all, where you see periodic record highs, but immense pain, very heavy selling, very heavy profit booking, and this is all delivery-based selling. It's not intraday. Sakshi.
Absolutely, very important point there. Mr. Chokkalingam, coming to you. This EMS space was celebrated as the theme of tomorrow, a sector that everybody should watch out for in case anybody is a long-term investor. Keynes Technologies has fallen by 12-13% in intraday trade today, 50% of the value lost in just the last 3 months. What does it really reflect at this point in time? And even for the mid and the small caps, the going had already been tough and now it's turning worse.
Yeah, it reflects two things. First of all, it reflects the long-term reality that in the last 3 decades in the small and mid-cap, the rally has been always a thematic one. This time, multiple themes have played out, including EMS. The problem is not only, the specific concern to the stock which were raised in a market, it's also to do with, thematic run-up and PE going beyond 100. So that's what happened invariably in the history in 30 years. Whenever the bull run gets corrected in the small and mid cap, the thematic stocks, they gave phenomenal return. They also destroyed wealth, depending upon what point in price investors enter. So this is a good lesson one should keep in mind. As I said, this has to do with enriched valuation these stocks enjoyed till 2 months ago. So I believe the pain is going to continue. Unfortunately, we have to have a tough mindset to face this reality.
Okay, pain might continue going forward. Let's also welcome another top guest joining in. Mr. Feroze Azeez, the joint CEO of Anand Rathi Wealth, is now joining in on the program. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Azeez, and good to have you with us on the program. We've been discussing about this current cautiousness that we are looking at into the markets. What would you pen down the reason as to why the markets are unable to sustain onto the gains that they have been periodically clocking in? Is it the absence of the FIIs? Is it the uncertainty around the trade deal? Would you say that there is, the valuation gap still exists? What would you really pen it down to as to why the markets are still on a very, very cautious note?
Yes, so I didn't get the audio as clearly, but I guess the question, like you said, in bits and pieces I could hear.
Okay.
Yes, the market is a little nervous. There is a lot of things in terms of news flow which has got backed. The good news has got factored in. There is a regulatory difference between last year and today in terms of derivative positions. I'll decipher all these or probably break it down for you. One is the GDP data was great. The repo rate cut was a welcome move. This required both these newses should have the potential to create a short covering rally, which didn't happen, which is what most people were expecting. Because the short buildup of FIIs, almost 87% are short and only 14% are long. This kind of positive news 1 year back could have created a short covering rally because FIIs are so negative that they would have got into a spiral unwounding position. But in the meantime, what SEBI has done is capped the long positions in the derivative market. सेबी ने ये कह दिया कि भाई 1,500 करोड़ की डेल्टा के अलावा कोई ले नहीं सकता. So people can't go unlimited long. So that has created a pressure on the long positions, can't be astronomical. So that's why you're seeing the short covering rally not happening. Anybody who created positions on the basis of short covering rally happening, they are now disappointed. Once they're disappointed, they are unwinding the trade is what is happening in my judgment over the last few trading sessions.
Absolutely. Feroze, we've been also, having you share a view on the mutual funds way of investments for the last 2 to 3 decades that we've been talking to you about. Now, help me understand, for all our India Today viewers, a lot of them have started off by investing in SIPs, in mutual funds of late. Do help us understand, what would you tell them in this kind of a market? Are they doing the right thing by investing in SIPs even in this downturn? Or if somebody wants to devise a new strategy for 2026 mutual funds, what should they do?
I'm so sorry. I tried my best to lip read you, but the audio seems to be a little disappointing. So you'll have to go back to me and give me the question again.
On the mutual fund strategy of 2026 for investors, what would you say?
Great. So 2026 strategy will depend on whether you're a trader or an investor. Most people are traders and investors. See, this whole our belief that traders are a separate race and investor are a separate race, it may not be true. A person could be investing a large portion of his money and trading. So first, let me tell you the trading strategy. The trading strategy should be long on dips, in my opinion. Why should you be long on dips is because, why should you buy on dips is because, see, domestic guys are continuing to get money. And we check it on a daily basis algorithmically. Small cap funds are the first to dry up if the sentiment changes. Small cap funds are getting monies at least 200-300 crores every single day, which means that the Indian domestic player is still sentimentally positive. That's one. The second, FIIs have sold what they had to sell. They sold 11,000 crores so far in December. Yeah. They had sold 3,700. These are smaller numbers relative to what could have happened, 20,000, 30,000. They sold 78,000 in January, 78,000 crores. So they are at the fag end of their selling rally. In my guesstimate, by February, March, you will see this becoming a positive number. That's the second reason. In derivative market, everybody is short. So please don't be shorting the market, but buy on dips should be your strategy, at least for the next couple of initial months of calendar year 2026 and the latter part of the December. That's one.
Fantastic.
Investor strategy is great. Let me just take a minute for investors. Investors, I personally think, are very well poised for Nifty to deliver 11% to 12% compounded over the next 3 years. If you chose the sectors right or the funds right or both, you will be able to beat Nifty by 3 to 4%. So there is a 95% chance that you can make 15-16% pre-tax compounded by just being sensible, if not an Einstein, in the equity market.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Azeez, for being with us on the show and, of course, helping all our viewers understand what should be their market strategy going forward from here. But the big news focus continues to be Indigo. The crisis that is at hand. Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu in Rajya Sabha has now addressed concerns over Indigo's dominance. He has said the government is investigating the matter seriously and wants that strict action will be taken if any non-compliance is found. The minister has added that India can support 5 major airlines and is encouraging newer players to enter the sector. He also emphasized that now is the right time to launch new airlines in the country. Let's listen into first what he had to say.
We are not taking this situation easily. We are doing an inquiry and we will take very, very strict action, not only for this situation, but also as an example. We will set an example for all the airlines. If there is any miscompliance, any non-compliance or non-adherence for any single person, any entity or any organization or any operator functioning in this civil aviation, we will take very, very strict action so that we set an example in the industry. I appreciate the question that has been asked by the honorable member. And right now, because this incident has happened and everyone is kind of focused on this subject and all these issues are coming, but the ministry has already been working on this. We have envisioned the demand to be growing at such a rate that we want to have more airlines in the picture. And I have continuously said on the floor of the House, in both the houses and outside also whenever I'm speaking, that India today has the capacity of 5 big airlines. We are talking about 2 airlines, but the capacity, the demand that India is creating today, we need to have 5 big airlines. And that has been the efforts from the ministry to encourage more airlines to come in. This House would also remember, sir, we have passed a legislation regarding the Cape Town Convention, which is the protection of interest in aircraft objects. This is specifically to align our civil aviation industry, align our leasing industry for aircrafts according to global standards, so that the airlines which are trying to start in the country becomes easier for them to lease the planes.
Right, let's straight away go across to Mr. G. Chokkalingam to try and understand how should investors be viewing Indigo. The stock has really fallen sharply in trade today, and over the last 7 days or so, we've seen 18% wipe off from the stock prices as well. Today, we've seen it slipping below the 5,000 mark and now nearing that 4,900 level as well. As far as Indigo is concerned, of course, the big question that the Honorable Minister has raised is that why do we really need to have a dominant or a monopolistic nature of the aviation industry? We have a airline, Indigo, which has 64% market share. The second biggest airline is Air India with 27% market share. Together, they both control about 90% of the entire aviation industry. And it is this heavy dependence that has perhaps led to a risk of, a nationwide kind of a level that we have seen unfold over the last 7 days. And therefore, the big question that, yes, they are open to having more airlines coming, more players come in. In 2014, we were on, about 8 airlines used to function fully, and now we're down to about 4. How are you looking at this current development for Indigo, and what would it mean for investors?
Certainly. For the industry, the minister's statement is really good, because monopoly or duopoly or monopolistic competition is not good for, public consumers. That way it is too good. But now coming to Indigo, we don't have any position, and I just want to say that after 20% crash from 52-week high, just 15% fall in 5 days, I don't think investors need to panic after this fall, because the very peculiar thing about Indigo is that it would be surprising to know for general public that this company is sitting on over 70,000 crore of gross cash. That has been their strategy, because even the the cash is around 54,000 crore. The debt is around 74,000 crore. So despite huge debt, they also hold on to huge cash of nearly 55,000 crore. And that is going to come handy in managing this kind of crisis. And, even if new players come, I think you can't write off Indigo because of its experience, its current market share, its relatively strong balance sheet. So I think it would come back. I mean, it would be very difficult in the short term for anyone.
Would you buy at this level? Would you buy at this level?
Yes, so maybe I will spread it for 3-4 days, but certainly I will not panic after this fall, considering the balance sheet strength, market position, and the way they are playing with the cash. They now lost hold of cash even when they've taken the debt. So that is very important for the airline industry to tide over the crisis.
Okay, got that. In fact, remember viewers, when we're talking about the big news developments, according to the reports now, International Cricket Council, or ICC, is now facing a major challenge right ahead of the 2026 T20 World Cup. JioStar has in fact signaled its exit from the India media rights deal, forcing the council to restart bidding. Let's go across to my colleague Krishna Gopalan, Executive Editor of Business Today magazine, for the latest on this developing story. Krishna, help us understand what would be the implications of Jio's decision. Also, if already there are some other players that are already getting interested, and at what price would they be interested in? Because the pricing is already very high.
First things first, actually. The bid is actually for a period of 4 years. Disney Star, which is the original entity before Jio got into it, picked up for a period of 4 years, starting 24 to 27. They've obviously figured that 2 years into the tournament, there's not enough money to be made. It also marks a certain strategy in the mind of Jio, where they've decided to put in all their money into the IPL. What is not commonly understood is the fact that for the ICC tournaments that covers the T20 World Cup, the 50-over ODI, and of course the Champions Trophy, it is only the India matches that actually derive viewership. So to that extent, the number of matches where the money to be spent is big is restricted to just a handful of games. Keeping that in mind, it's very clear that the decision in terms of strategy means that JioStar has now figured There's not enough money to be made. They've obviously taken a big hit after 2 years and decided to move it back to a drawing board. My own sense is, given the fact that some names like Amazon and Netflix are doing the rounds, but I seriously doubt it only because having a standalone cricket portfolio as a part of their overall portfolio is unlikely to get in the eyeballs. And point number two, we saw the case of Sony in the recently concluded India-England Test Series where Sony picked up the rights, but eventually had to give the digital rights away to Jio. So
Sure.
so I think the way it stands, it's a tricky situation. I don't see a scenario emerging where new bidders will come in at this point in time.
So is there a chance for the renegotiation for the terms and the conditions, basically lower the price? And if that happens, would this also mean ICC rights are much lower in value in terms of compared to the IPL already? So how would you look at it?
Perhaps not the best solution, but given the fact that the tournament is just a few months away, I don't suppose ICC really has a veritable option. I'd expect it to take place, and it'll be a point where the deal will be hammered on. I really don't see Amazon and Netflix, even if they do, it'll be a completely watered down version, and I don't think ICC can afford to take that kind of a hit at this point in time.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Krishna, for sharing with us all of those insights. Of course, this is a developing story, and we will keep an eye out on all these developments to help you understand what is really coming in when it comes to the media rights there. But let's look at the market closing there. 251 points lower in trade. So it is a Monday that has, seen the markets, including the benchmarks, the broader markets, all slip lower in trade. Almost 1% gone for the Nifty. So we are at 25,934. We've given up 26,000 and then 25,950 as well. For the Nifty Bank also, over 1% of a loss, 59,153. That's the clear loss that you see on the index there. The other heavyweight index, let's look at the mid and the small caps. That's where a lot of dip has been seen, 1.9% of a cool off in the markets today, or you may say a sharp dip that we have seen today. 2.5%, 2.6% lower in trade. Not a good picture at all for the small cap index, 17,051 for the index. That's where the pain point clearly has emerged in trade today. It's the broader markets. All the sectors lose in trade, and among the gainers, you just have a handful of names. You have Tech Mahindra, you have Wipro, you have HCL Technologies, all just slightly up in trade, but rest of them, you can see Reliance. So just about 4 winners on the Nifty in trade today, but rest of them have all dragged. Let's look at the top laggards in trade and see where the pain point has emerged. So you do have BEL, JSW Steel, you have InterGlobe Bank, about 3 to 5% lower in trade for all these top laggards as well. All right, so that's how the markets have shut shop. Tomorrow, as Shell was pointing out, is the weekly expiry of the Nifty contracts. We'll have to see whether there will be some more volatility to be braced for, or will there be any bounce back. Let's in fact go back to Mr. G. Chokkalingam and now take some viewers' questions that are coming in. Mr. Chokkalingam, our first question is from Udyan Roy from Jamshedpur. He says the federal meeting outcome is due this week. Will a rate cut in the US after the RBI rate cut also be seeing any buying in any IT sector? Should I be looking at it?
I don't think IT sector is going to move just because of a rate cut in the US, because as I've been saying, the industry is growing only at 2 to 4%. That's not going to change in the short to medium term. However, the IT sector would be quite bullish in the short term. That's mainly because of rupee depreciation. And therefore, I am positive on IT sector, and one can hold on to IT stocks, and they can even buy large IT stocks for the short-term investments.
Okay, let's actually look at some of the other questions that are also coming in. Sushma from Cuttack says, sir, mid-cap and small-cap indices are truly falling. Is it a good time to accumulate these stocks at this juncture? Would you say that it's at a comfortable level to look at mid and small caps, or will there be more pain going forward, Mr. Chokkalingam?
Certainly, there may be pain till December or even till March. But 3 things I want to share briefly that they should keep in mind while investing in small and mid-cap. Because only small and mid-cap create a lot of wealth in the long term, provided you invest carefully. So one, in your equity asset allocation, ensure that minimum 30-40% is allocated to Sensex and Nifty stocks. And 2, never lose valuation comfort. And 3, the bubble and bust, they always happen in a thematic fashion. So you should be more cautious, whenever there is a bubble in a thematic fashion. So finally, even now, every week, 7 lakh new investors are coming in. Once again, in 26, the small and mid-cap quality stocks will come back. They will create a lot of wealth. So yes, on decline, one should keep investing in a good quality stocks.
Okay, last question that we have is from Raman from Chennai. He says, sir, I have been investing in Indigo, and after the recent crisis, I want to know, should I average my position or consider exiting completely?
No, I don't think, I may be wrong. I don't think exiting is a wise decision. Stock is already down 20%. As I mentioned, it is sitting on a lot of cash. It has got a very high market position. So even if new players come, they would take minimum 1 to 3 years to turn around. So therefore, the efficiency at the Indigo would once again come back, and it would, reward the investors. That's my strong conviction. Personally, I do not own directly or indirectly Indigo shares.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Chokkalingam, for being with us on the show and for addressing all these queries of all our viewers as well. It's always good to speak with you. And with that, viewers, it's a wrap on the Business Today show. In case you too have any questions about the stocks in your portfolio, the mutual fund queries or SIP or gold-related investment queries that you have, then you could definitely mention all your queries on the WhatsApp number that's flashing on your screens. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business Today show. Stay tuned as we will come back with the morning market edition tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.